meeting because no matter what time we choose, with people all around the world, there are always some for whom it's too late, too early, during the school time, during the work. So let's record it for those who cannot attend the meeting. So we are about 1 month away from the X-Culture Global Symposium in San Antonio. And so we would like to update you on the developments on our end in this meeting, and also tell you a little bit more about what to expect, how to prepare, what to do to get the maximum value from this event. And then if you have any questions, we can answer them as well. And so here with me here is Alexander Assad. He is a professor at Belmont University in Tennessee, in Nashville. And so Alex has organized a number of events for X-Culture, symposium, hackathons. And so this time he's the program director for this event. So he's our main contact person for the San Antonio event. There are more people involved in organizing this event. We have several people from the Academy of International Business who are helping us with the kind of administrative side. There will be probably about a dozen professors from X-Culture who will be helping with the events on the site. So, but Alex is basically the director for the whole big organizing team. And I think I will give him first the opportunity to speak and give a little bit more information about the event. And then we'll talk more about the program itself, maybe some tips on how to prepare, and then obviously questions and answers.
Okay. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to everyone, depending on where you are. So we're looking forward to meeting you in a couple of weeks in Texas, in San Antonio. And as you know by now, our host company is a company called Rackspace, which happens to be one of the biggest virtual companies in the world. They are themselves a virtual company. So the unique opportunity here is you guys starting to work as a global virtual team, and with the global virtual team experience, it's a very good fit for us and for you all. And they are a big software services provider. So they provide back-end solutions for large companies. And what we're going to be doing, and I'm not going to steal their thunder because we'll have a webinar with them in a few days, is basically we're going to act as a consultant for them and advise their customer. So we're going to be like in-house analysts and consultants and take our reports to advise their big customer that we will be doing a project for. So again, I'm not going to talk too much more about it because you all have to sign non-disclosure agreements, and then I'll let Rackspace themselves introduce the challenge and everything. So I will bring that up right away now, just because that's very important. We have sent you guys non-disclosure agreements. Vas, has anyone started sending us back?
Yes, so what we do is it's part of the progress survey that is due tomorrow. And so instead of trying to make sure that we get every email, we tried collecting those in the past by email. And what happens, some people send it multiple times and we don't know which one is the correct version. Some people send it and it gets lost among other emails. Sometimes it gets in spam folders, so it's very hard to then figure out what is what. So this time there is a link in your weekly progress survey. All you do is just click add file, you put it there, and then with one click we download the whole collection. This way it works better. Alex, do you want to maybe explain what NDA is? I know it's kind of a very American thing, and maybe in other countries people don't really know what it is and why the company is so particular about it.
Right, so an NDA is short for a non-disclosure agreement, and it's an agreement that as a third party coming in to find out some information about companies, they're willing to share it with you, but you have to sign this agreement that you will not share it with anyone else.
Right.
And if you do, you are actually legally liable for to be sued or for a court case. So, you know, if any of you are uncomfortable with that, we've got to talk about it. It's very important. The sort of information that they're going to be sharing is proprietary, it's secret, it's market-based, it's intelligence. And really, in a way, for us, a company that tells us, please have your students sign an NDA is a serious company. It means we're not, this is a good partner for us to have with you guys. They're going to tell us real stuff. This is, you're going to be working on a real challenge with a real client. So this is, in a way, it's good that we've built it in as one of your first steps, because this is part of the experience as well. So,
And
yes, it's
pretty much
with,
pretty much all companies that we have worked with require this. It's a part of the normal process, and the reason for that is that you may have access to some information, maybe like financial data, maybe sales, maybe some know-hows, maybe some technology, and so obviously the company wants to be sure that it's something that will not be shared with the competition. So yeah.
right.
So nothing to be worried about. It just, as I said, the company is trying to protect itself and make sure that the proprietary information will not be going to the competition.
Yeah.
All right, so then maybe a little bit more about the program itself, right? So we have about 4 weeks left until the event. So a couple things will happen before we meet in Texas. One, hopefully by tomorrow, we will have all NDAs, and we already have the challenge instructions. And in fact, I'm glad that they told me in advance that do not share until we have the NDAs, because I was so ready to share it, last week, literally.
Mm-hmm.
So we know what the task is. We know what the companies are, because there are several companies involved in this challenge. And so if everything goes fine, we will share it probably Sunday or Monday. And then you will have several weeks to sort of prepare virtually or prepare while working with your team virtually. And then obviously you'll have more time to work and polish the challenge in San Antonio. One thing will happen on Monday, and that is the webinar with the company. So they will introduce themselves, they will talk about the history, the product, the particulars of the challenge. The notice was a little short, and the reason for that is because several people from the company would like to join the webinar. And so we couldn't find first a time that works for everybody. And then somebody is going on vacation next week, and somebody is still on vacation. And then it turned out that the only day that really works is Monday. And so if we didn't do it on Monday, then it would be like a week or even more later. And so even though normally we would like to give a little bit more advance notice, this time we decided, you know what, if Monday is the only day that works, let's do it on Monday. As always, just like in this webinar, most students cannot attend live. And the reason for that is that no matter what time we go with, for someone it's too late. For someone, it's the time when they are in school, at work, and so on. So we will be recording the meeting anyway. So make every effort to attend. It will be 11 a.m. on Monday, this Monday. So 11 a.m., 2 hours from now, whatever time zone you are in. And so ideally, obviously, we would like everyone to attend, but if you cannot attend, not a big deal. We will record the meeting. You will be able to watch it later. So not a huge problem. Now, you already met your teams, and hopefully you had a chance to get to know each other a little bit. And then on Monday, once we have the webinars, once we have the challenge released, you can start working on the challenge. And that may involve simply brainstorming the questions and trying to come up with some ideas, but also doing your own research, maybe trying to study the competition, maybe trying to collect some additional data, and whatever else you think you need to be doing before we meet in San Antonio. Then there will be really not much else happening until we meet in San Antonio. We have only one webinar, Alex, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right, yeah.
We may have another orientation webinar right before the event, just to make sure that everything's clear as far as travel arrangements. But yeah, then we meet in San Antonio.
Yeah.
I know some people always come a little early for sightseeing. Some people stay a little longer. Unlike the summer conference that we organize for X-Culture, this one, the housing is on you. So there are some hotels that the conference organizers made arrangements with, and you have a special rate if you want to stay there. But then again, you may find a better deal if you go with Airbnb, or if you try to book your own hotel, maybe a little further away from downtown. And so it will take you a little extra time to travel, but may save you a few dollars on that. Many students also share rooms. So this way, not only can they save money, but also, get to know more students closer. And that's fine. So you would have to make those arrangements on your own. So we don't really provide any support here, other than we created a page on Facebook where you can get to know each other. You can start communicating. And it's very common that students say, hey, my name is John Smith. I would like to share a room with someone. Anyone wants to room with me? And so
Right.
that would be perfectly appropriate. You can do that, no problem. One thing I'm not sure what to do, and Alex, you maybe share your thoughts. We do have the emails of all of the people, and I suppose we could share them so that the group can start talking. But then I suppose there are at least a few students who may not want their email to be, up in the public, or at least within this group. So I'm not sure if we should do that. What do you think?
Why don't if we find out if everyone has access to Facebook or something like that, and just use or a WhatsApp, and so there can be one big group WhatsApp that people could share that sort of thing in, or the Facebook, or we can send an email and just get out. I mean, I don't see why people wouldn't want to share emails about this. We could send an email out.
Maybe we should have just a list shared only with
I mean, it's just this group with almost 40 students. So just this group, I don't see a problem with.
We have about 10 students now in attendance. So if you guys have any thoughts about that, you have a window there that is Q&A, and then you have the comments, the chat window. So if you have any preferences or any thoughts on whether or not, or how we can put you in touch, let us know. The trade-offs here are, on the one hand, we want you to communicate, both because we want you to get to know each other, but also because we want you, to make some plans together, to coordinate housing, travel plans. At the same time, I'm not sure if it would be ethical to just simply share all of your emails like that. So if you want to share your thoughts on that, if you think it's okay, let us know. If you think it's not okay, let us know. And hopefully within the next day or two, we'll have some system in place. You already have the emails of your team members, so I guess that's something that you can start with. But so I'm sure there are more people who want to talk to one another. So we have the Facebook group. We'll see if we want to create, in addition, the WhatsApp group. And if we want to share the emails within the attendees, obviously not with the whole world, but only within this small group. So let us know.
I did want to say something about the room sharing, just so that everyone's aware of it. The prices that you find for the rooms listed on the website for the conference, that's a price for the room. So if you're two, you'll split that price. So because I know some people are unfamiliar with the way hotels are billed here. Yeah. Sometimes people think it's per person per room. It's not. Here it's the room. So if it's $165 and both of you find someone to share it with, it'll be about $80 each.
Yeah. So in theory, there can be more than two of you, but usually it's two beds. So you have two separate beds. And in most cases, the hotels allow a third, what they call roll-in bed. It would be like a bed that, you roll in and it, unfolds, and you have a third bed. So in most cases, it's free, and sort of, you can just ask for that. So, but yeah, other than that, it's completely up to you. In the United States, if you don't know, in addition to the hotels, like if you go to Expedia.com or one of those websites, you'll see a lot of hotels to choose from. There is also Airbnb, which again, you probably have in your country as well. Sometimes it may be a better price. Sometimes it's not much cheaper. It gets really better when you go with either a room in an apartment or house where, there are people other than you. So sometimes you get a better deal. Or sometimes it's cheaper if you rent the whole house and then have 5, 6, 7, 8 friends. Again, it's hard to arrange such a large group, but in many cases you would be able to get that as well. So sometimes for like $300 a day, you can get a whole house with, literally like 3, 4, 5 bedrooms or beds. And so in that case, it may be much cheaper per person. So again, if you need that, like for example, I will be going on vacation soon with my family. And so there is another family coming with us. So we go with Airbnb and we just booked a whole house. And so it's not cheap, but much cheaper than renting several rooms in the hotels. So that's an option. All right, so when it comes to the program, so here is what we usually do. And then if you have, again, any suggestions, we have still time to do it. Well, first and foremost, we have 2 different X-Culture Symposium every year. So we have one in the summer, and that one is a self-standing event. It's only the X-Culture Symposium and nothing else. It's a little longer. It's basically a whole week, and it's only the X-Culture students. It's more of them, so we would have about 200 people total with professors and coaches and students, and that's only the X-Culture events. The one in the fall, the one that we will have in San Antonio, is a little different, and it has some advantages. So it is part of the Academy of International Business Conference. So there is this big professional organization called Academy of International Business. It's so big that it has multiple sort of chapters or subsidiaries around the world. One of those chapters is Southeast United States, and that's the one that Alex and I belong to, so that's our part of the world. It is the biggest chapter, I believe, and our conference is the biggest. So the way AAB organizes conferences, it does it all around the world in different parts of the world. And so even though it's organized by local regional chapters, the one in Southeast USA, it's a very international conference. We would have people from 30 plus countries each time. And so it's a fairly large event. So there would be hundreds of professors attending it. And so the main sort of audience historically for this event has been international business professionals and international business professors. So they would come together. They would have all kinds of events from presentations of their research to panels where they discuss important international business topics, networking events, welcome reception, gala, all kinds of other special events for people who have careers in international business, either professional or academic. And so you will be part of this event. In addition, you will have all kinds of events that are only for X-Culture students. But because you are registered for the conference itself, you have access to all of those events. So just like all of those professors and all of those businessmen who attend the meeting, you will also have access, obviously, to the opening ceremony, to all of the research presentations, panel sessions, symposia, networking events, receptions organized by different universities, publishers, companies. So you have all of that. And it's a lot of work, I mean, a lot of stuff going on because it starts like 7 a.m. and goes on till 9 p.m. every day. And so one of the problems I have with these conferences is that so much is going on that you want to attend everything, but many things happen at the same time. So you often have to decide where do you want to go because you cannot attend everything. And then in addition, we have the whole X-Culture program. So we'll have our own opening ceremony. We'll have our own seminars, presentations, company visits, competitions, and then finally the award ceremony. And so you'll have to decide what you want to attend, but there will be quite a few things going on. Am I missing something in terms of the general program description, Alex?
No, just that obviously when we have both of them going at the same time, you guys are obliged to be at the X-Culture event.
Yes.
So when that says you can pick and choose what you go to, that's during your free time.
Right.
But other than that, no, we'll try and do some things together as a group. But we'll leave you a lot of time to work together as teams, and you'll have access to probably 4 or 5 professors at least, if you need some sort of assistance and help. Other than that, it's up to you guys to, like Vas said, join what you want to join, learn a little bit more about international business from an academic perspective, and enjoy the town and explore. That's part of being the traveler as well, is to get out there. And
yeah, so one big difference between this conference and the one we do in the summer is that this one is primarily focused on people who are interested in one way or another in research and the academic side of international business. So there will be professors from literally hundreds of universities there. They will come from dozens of countries and hundreds of universities. At this time, I have about 35 professors from X-Culture who have confirmed that they would be attending the conference. Not all of them will be closely involved in running the X-Culture events because many of them go there to present their own work, to meet with their co-authors, to meet with their colleagues. And so many of them will be busy with the conference in general. So there will be about a dozen of them who will also be helping a lot with the X-Culture Symposium component as well. But in any case, you will have access to all of them, and there will be ample opportunities to meet them, to attend their presentations, and to talk to them about all kinds of things. But one that is uniquely sort of a great opportunity, and this conference provides that opportunity in a better way than any other conference. If you ever wanted to apply to continue with your education, maybe master's level, maybe PhD, or maybe you're still thinking about a bachelor's or a new different degree. So if you wanted to explore more about those schools, to know, learn about the programs they offer, maybe to meet professors who can potentially become your academic advisors, dissertation committee members, and things like that, this is the place. So everybody here will be an international business one or another way. Most of them will come from different disciplines like international marketing, international HR, international strategy, international finance, but all of them have this international word in their title in some way. And so that's the best way to sort of, plan your academic future and meet the people who can help you in that endeavor. We've had also quite a lot of success in the past when people wanted to meet the companies. Obviously, we will meet the representatives of Rackspace. There will be other companies there attending the conference. There will be all kinds of publishers of academic literature there. So it's also an opportunity to meet people. We even had situations in the past where companies would offer internships or even jobs to the students. But I would like to be very clear that it's something that may happen or may not happen. So I had a student in the past who said, so what's the, can you guarantee that I'll get a job? I'm like, no. That's not the purpose, and it's not a job market. You may be able to impress the company enough that they will express interest in you, and you may start talking to them and maybe get some sort of an offer from them, which has happened many times in the past. But it may not. So we'll see, and so here are no guarantees. So we also had once, I think it was after Nashville actually, or it was one before, we had two students here in Greensboro from a different university, not my university, who went to the conference, presented their work. The company was happy, provided very positive feedback. Then the guy comes back to Greensboro and he has a part-time job. He's a student and an employee. And he shows to his employer here in Greensboro what he prepared for the company in, it was before Nashville, in Washington, D.C. And the company is so impressed that he says, the employer says, can I meet your team members? And he says, sure, here are the names. There were like 5 or 6 of them. And so the company here offers jobs to all his team. And then one of them takes the job. So she relocated here. I think she was somewhere in Asia. And so they played this whole competition as a way to actually get a promotion, a job offer from their company that they already work for. So the guy here, he got a tuition coverage from his company for the rest. I think he had like 2 years left to study. And then one of his team members got a job offer and moved here to Greensboro and now works here. Again, happened once. I'm not sure if it will happen again, but it may be a good opportunity for you to sort of score some points with your current employer as well. So if you show them how good you do, and I think their team actually won the competition, so that's what impressed the employer most. But again, that's not the main purpose, and it may or may not happen. In addition, there will be a few other events that you may find interesting, specifically organized for you. And we're still working on the details. I'm trying to collect more information to see if other professors want to offer something new. But we usually offer a few sort of career development workshops. So we always have what we call an elevator pitch competition. The way that goes is we have a few, sometimes businessmen, sometimes professors, sometimes both, who teach you a little bit on the art of what we call the elevator pitch. And what that is, in many cases, when you would like to either get a job, or you would like get an investment, or you would like to share your idea with an influential person, in many cases you don't have access to those influential people. In many cases you cannot just schedule a meeting with the CEO or a top investor or maybe some other important person. And in many cases the only time you can talk to them is if you happen to ride in an elevator together with them. And so in that case, you have like 45 seconds to either present your own idea and get them sort of buy the idea or invest in the idea, or present yourself and convince them to get you a job. And so we sort of train you how to do it well because you have so little time. And then at some conferences, we'll literally have a few elevators, and we put those executives in the elevators, and like for half a day, they ride up and down, and you walk in and you do your elevator pitch. And then they score you, and then we have a little break, and they provide feedback, and then we repeat the whole thing. And so this way, by the end of the competition, students say, man, I'm so glad that I did it. Now if I catch a CEO in the elevator, I'll know exactly what to say. sometimes people panic and cannot say anything. I remember there was this one girl who started crying. So, but, that's an interesting experience. And so it's kind of a little tolling for the professors and the executives who have to be in the elevator for a few hours, but it's a good experience for you. We didn't do the elevators when we had the conference in 2016 at the cruise ship, so they didn't allow us to occupy the elevators on the cruise ship because, obviously they needed them for. So in that case, we did like basically a bar conversation. So the CEO is pretending to be at the bar, and you sort of approach him and talk for a minute and then move on with your life. So we'll see what kind of accommodations we have in Texas. If we'll find the elevators, great. If not, it may be at a table somewhere, in a different setting. Then we always have a little seminar on sort of, education counseling. So if you want to continue with your education, how to choose the right graduate program, how to apply for stipends, how to apply for the programs. So again, we'll see if we can find a couple of professors who know that area very well and can share their experience. We usually have another session on resume and cover letter development. Again, how to do it right so it looks professional, it looks good. Again, we'll see. We'll try to have that as well. I'm not sure, Alex, are we planning anything else? I mean,
No,
obviously the meeting with the company, obviously, but
meeting with the companies, and then I think we're going to do a dinner. We'll do a dinner.
yes,
There's the social things, but nothing.
yeah,
Yeah.
networking,
Yeah.
With this conference, it's always again kind of a dilemma. How many events do we need to organize? And the reason for that is the one in the summer, there is nothing else going on. It's only XCulture, and so we have all the time in the world. And then you have nothing else to do. So obviously we have, like 5, 6, 7 different events every day. Here, there's so much other stuff going on that if we organize much of our own, then you will not know which one to attend. Second, because most of the professors are involved in the main conference events, it also becomes a challenge because we cannot really pull them out from that program and into this program. And so this way, it's always, on the one hand, we want to organize more. On the other hand, it can create too many competing events. And then you will be disappointed that, oh, I wanted to go to that presentation, or I wanted to hear that speech, or I wanted, or keynote presenter. And then, so we don't want to create too many schedule conflicts. So, but there will be at least a few events specifically for you, and then obviously the rest of the conference.
Yeah.
Your registration fee includes food, so you don't have to worry about that. So you will have breakfast and lunch and the gala dinner. And I think there will be one day when we are on our own. And so again, in the past, we tried to organize something for our XCulture students like every minute of the program. And we thought on the one hand, because you want to be involved every minute of the day in something. And on the other hand, because we a little worry about you guys, you're young, a lot of hormones in the blood and, people from all around the world. And sometimes you get a little too excited. And so we thought if we schedule something for every minute of the day, we will sort of have more control over you and keep you from trouble. So, you will not get into something that is, we don't want you to do. But when we started doing that, when we do the satisfaction survey at the end of the conference, we consistently would get a lot of complaints from students that say, I never had a minute to even look at the city. In fact, I remember we had a few nasty letters from Miami. A few years ago, we had a conference in Miami, and it was on campus of a university where you can hear the ocean. We had such a busy program that people never saw the ocean. We did go to the port of Miami as one of the tours so they could see the ocean, but it was, part of the professional tour, not on the beach. And so ever since, we then tried to leave at least a couple of evenings open where, one, you can meet with your team and work a little bit more on your presentations. But two, you can do whatever you want. You can go with your team to a restaurant. You can go just walk around the city. San Antonio has a lot of historic and natural landmarks. So you can walk around the river. You can go see Alamo, whatever else you want to do. And so there will be, I think, 1 or 2 evenings when it's all your personal time. So if you want to do something big, you can. If you want to just grab something quick to eat and then work on your presentation, you can do that as well. Food in the United States is generally cheap, and especially in Texas, like for $5, you can get a big sub. And so that will be like more than enough in terms of, calories. If you want to just, stay kind of cheap. But then again, if you want to get a better, nicer dinner, San Antonio is actually famous for restaurants. So you'll have a whole range from very, very cheap to like, extravagant big dinner. And so obviously your choice. So you can do anything you want. Yeah. Anything else, Alex? Am I missing something?
No, not for today. I think as hopefully as many of you as possible can attend on Monday, the conference.
Yeah.
I mean, the webinar with Rackspace, and to start communicating as much as possible with your group. And also, not to be too negative or anything, but if you have some miscommunication, to start reporting that as quick as possible to us, so that we can, people are coming again, like Vas said, and obviously from around the world for this trip. We don't want to, or we want to minimize bad experiences, and we don't want to have bad experiences based on miscommunication and misinterpretation, and it can happen quite easily. So
yeah, although again, usually with a group like this, it does. I mean, you guys have been pre-selected several times. I mean, not everyone can participate in X-Culture. Not everyone finishes it. Not everyone who finishes gets invited. Not everyone who gets invited applies, and not everyone who applies gets selected. So now we are dealing with a pretty mature, you know, like best of the best of the best people. I mean, still some things can go wrong, and when they do, don't see it as a problem, see it as a learning opportunity.
right.
We do have, normally when we do the American one, there would be like half of the people are from the United States and then a few other countries. And this time we have like 4 American students.
Yeah, and it's mainly people from,
And
yeah.
then everybody else is from anywhere else. Like we have Afghanistan, Pakistan, all of Europe, all of Latin America. So, I mean, cultural differences, all kinds of things can come into play.
Yeah.
We have a few more minutes, and so what I wanted to do, guys, if you have microphones, I want to meet you, and you probably want to meet one another. If you have a microphone, you have a button at the bottom of your screen that looks like raised hand. If you have a microphone and a video camera, please raise your hand. I will add you here to the panel, and 1, you will be able to introduce yourself. Just 1 minute. We don't want to spend much time. But 2, if you have any questions, again, now is a good time to ask them, and you can put them in Q&A, or you can also raise your hand. I'll add you here, and you will be able to talk to us. So let's see if anyone wants to talk. And so, yes, and then Bartosh is asking, there are some blank spaces in the NDA that you need to fill out. Yes, all you need to do is basically provide your name there. Let me take a quick look here. I don't think there is really nothing there that is difficult or, so I'll open it and let me share the screen here so that we can see it together. But I think all you have to do really is, so that's the screen, right? So all you do is literally just read it carefully, provide your name, your address, telephone, and email address, and you can just type it in, and then put your signature here, and again, name, title, if any, and date. And and then all you have to do is just sign it and then take a picture with your phone or scanner if you have a scanner, and then just attach it as a PDF file or a picture file, and that's it. So there is really nothing super special about that. Right. Title, for title, it's more, you know, like if you have a title, so I don't think you need to put anything. You can put student.
Put X-Culture student.
Yeah,
so
yeah. Really now, everybody is very shy and I don't understand. So nobody wants to introduce yourself. Nobody wants to raise hand. I really want to meet you guys because I've seen many names so many times. So Bartosh.
There you go.
All right. Okay. Very good. So anyone else? Claudia, so we've been exchanging emails with her lately, and so didn't meet. So we met Piyush just recently, and I recognize some of the names here. So tell us where you are from, and I don't know, just we want to see your face and hear your voice. Bartosh, do you want to introduce yourself? I think your microphone is muted, so let's see if I can unmute it. Alex, you have a research assistant there?
Yeah, this is the little one. Yeah.
Go ahead, Bartosh.
I'm Bartosh from Kabul, Afghanistan. I'm a high school student. It's my last year, actually, and I'm 18 years old. I have met some of people here, and I'm looking forward to meeting all of you, hopefully in San Antonio, and I'm really looking forward to meet my peers. Yeah.
Well, those who don't know, Bartosh is a special case. So he participated in X-Culture Kids some time ago. Then he completed the X-Culture coaching program some time ago. So by now he's grown quite a lot. When he started, he was much younger. And so now he's 18, he's basically the age of the students. And you will be applying to colleges this year, right? So you're going to university sometime? Yeah. So, and Bartosh was not only one of our best students, but also one of the most, was the proper word, diligent students. Like, for example, for kids and like for university students, we require weekly webinars. And so he was there every single week. We had a few times, I remember he had some, blackout. Kabul, I guess, electricity supply is not as stable as it is somewhere else. And so he would disappear for a second and then reappear from his phone. So he missed me again. So I wish all students took it so seriously. So very nice to meet you, Bartosh. Claudia, so we don't see your picture, but maybe we can hear you. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Oh, okay, so my name is Claudia. I'm from South Africa,
Very nice.
but I'm currently completing my MSc in agricultural biotechnology in Hungary.
Hungary.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, very cool. So, and when did you participate in XCulture?
The last round. I started in February, I think.
So
the last semester.
So in Hungary, it's just a study abroad tour, or that's the whole program? You are there for a couple of years?
No, I'm actually here for 2 years. I got a scholarship to come complete my master's here.
Very nice. One of the very valuable outcomes of these meetings I noticed is when students share about their experiences of getting scholarships. Most of you are smart students. Most of you have some sort of a scholarship wherever you study. And just like Claudia, so from South Africa, studying in Hungary, I assume in Budapest probably, right? Or
Oh no, I'm actually in a very small town called Godolo.
Even better. So, lower cost of living, probably more picturesque and nice. But anyway, when you are there, make sure to talk to these people so they can give you more information as to how they were able to obtain the scholarships, the stipends, to continue on with their education. And most of the attendees will actually be master's students. So by now they've completed several degrees or working on the second degree. So that's usually the best way to sort of learn about the opportunities and hear about tips and tricks how to prepare your presentation, application to get the scholarship. So don't waste that opportunity if you want to continue with your education. So.
Oh yeah, true. Thank you.
Yep, very nice to meet you, Claudia. Calvin, I see you raised your hand. Please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Very well, very well.
Good, good. I'm actually out in Massachusetts visiting family. I was out in breakfast, but I've been listening in. Just wanted to chime in. My name is Kelvin McDonald. I'm a student at UNCG. Go Spartans.
Oh, yeah, UNCG. Wow. So were you one of my students, or you were with Karen Linden or somebody else?
I was with Professor Linden.
Very nice. Okay, go UNCG. Yeah, go Spartans.
Yes, go UNCG.
Yeah, nice.
I was very upset I wasn't able to make it to Canada, but I'm so excited to be going to Texas for this one. I'm excited to participate. X-Culture has been amazing. Just the exposure. My company's been very inquiry about it. They're curious. They've been talking about possibly getting involved. I have about 6 more classes to graduation, so I'm excited about that.
So you're graduating when is going to be spring?
It will be spring of 21.
You're doing part-time.
Yes, I work full-time. Yes, sir.
And so you have a job already. Okay. Yeah, that's another important, like Kelvin, for example, it's a typical example where the student has both a job and studies. And again, if you are starting, thinking about a career, students like Kelvin can be very instrumental in, again, sharing tips and, advice on how to find a good job, how to combine school and work. So again, it's a very valuable resource. Something that you cannot get from, movies, books, and lectures. So, like firsthand experience is always much more informative and much more useful. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir. Very, very good point. And I apologize for the noise. Again, we're out having breakfast, so there's people kind of going in and out. But just want to check in with you guys and just say, go X-Culture, go team. Again, just really looking forward to meeting, several different students from across the globe. I'm just beyond excited. So looking forward to it. And if I have any questions, I'll raise my hand again.
Sounds good. Thank you, Calvin. And so when you're back in Greensboro, let me know. Maybe we always have a few students from Greensboro attending these symposia, and we always try to have one face-to-face sort of orientation greet meeting just for the UNCG students. So you know who else is traveling. Maybe you want to, again, do some things together. So more fun when you travel together and things like that. It's probably too far to drive. So from here to Texas, it will be probably like 16 hours of driving nonstop. So I'm not sure if you guys want to drive, you probably will be flying, but still it's good to meet other people. Maybe you can travel together.
Yes,
All right.
If I could add one other thing, Dr. Voss.
Yeah.
I actually have 2 reservations to 2 separate Hilton hotels. So if anyone's still looking for a room for a good price, you can have it on your own if you want, or I can cancel if no one wants it. But if anybody's still looking for a room, I do have I believe it's 4-night reservation at the Embassy Suites for $280. It's a great deal. So if anybody's interested, let me know.
Yeah, thank you so much. Again, it can be maybe something that multiple students can share. So we'll find a way, Calvin, to share your information, as we talked about. Facebook group, that's one of the places. Maybe you can even make a post and say that I have a free reservation that I can give up to somebody else. But also, hopefully, there will be a way for other students to sort of discover you and reach out to you to make those arrangements. So we'll find a way to put you in touch in the next couple of days. All right. Piyush, you wanted to introduce yourself as well? Go ahead, please.
Yes. Hello, everybody. My name is Piyush. I am from India, and I have participated in X-Culture since 2018. I have been to Macerata Symposium as well as Calgary Symposium recently.
Right.
And it has been a great experience for me, and I'm looking forward to San Antonio Symposium and working with all of you.
Yeah.
Last year, I completed my master's in management. So now I've joined the company, market research company itself. And yeah, I have a full-time job, and it has been a great experience with X-Culture coaching, as well as now I am participating in head coaches program.
Right.
So it's a good experience, and I'm looking forward to the next experiences and next opportunities with X-Culture. Thank you very much.
Piyush is one of our sort of long-term veterans. As he said, he's gone through the X-Culture, then X-Culture coaching, then he attended several symposia. And one of the places or areas where he could be extremely useful is, again, these symposia. So he's attended several of them. So by now he knows a lot about how these things go and what to do and how to maximize the value of the event. So again, I would really recommend that you talk to him. And so if anybody has tips and tricks on, how to go to these meetings and what to do there. So Piyush by now has so much knowledge. Maybe we should even organize like a webinar with you only, where you share your own experience. Why not?
Sure, I'll be up for it.
Yeah.
Always there. Thank you very much. Thanks,
Piyush,
Wes.
and I want to talk to you about something else. So for the fall symposium, we usually don't do, like, we don't have coaches, we don't have ambassadors, because, we have all the support provided by AIB. But because we have you, and there will be a couple other people, like, for example, Kim Nesper, so the coaching program director for the past few years, will be attending as well. I want to talk to you guys about maybe assigning you a somewhat special role, where maybe you can do at least like part-time coaching. Like, for example, when the time comes for the teams to rehearse their presentations, maybe you can help a little bit with that. Maybe there will be some difficult cases, like, hopefully not, but if there is some sort of a conflict or misunderstanding, again, obviously the professors will be there to help, but sometimes students may not be comfortable talking to professors. Maybe they will be more comfortable talking to their peers, even though a little bit older peers. And so I want to talk to you guys. Maybe we will ask you to be kind of in both roles, a team member, but also sort of an ambassador / coach in case that is needed. Same thing with you, Bartosh. So you've done that in the past. So we'll see, how things go.
Yeah. Thanks, Wes. I'll be up for it.
Okay, wonderful. So I'll be reaching out to you separately to make those, to discuss it further and make the arrangements. All right, I think we need to stop here because we have another webinar at 10 o'clock in about 7 minutes for the students who are in X-Culture this semester. So we need to get prepared for this one. Any last minute questions, let us know. But otherwise, we'll communicate by email. And yeah, did I miss anything, Alex? I think
there may be 1 or 2 teams that will get a new team member in the next couple of days.
Yeah.
That's all. That's the last thing. So don't be surprised if someone introduces themselves and says, I'm on your team, and you hadn't seen them.
Yes. So one of the reasons for that is, so Academy of International Business gave us a special rate for you guys to register. So Alex, we had to pay, I don't know, it's like more like $300 or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but they gave $175 both for the X-Culture students, but then what they call low-income academics. So people, from distant countries that are, developing countries, as they call them. And so sometimes it's difficult to differentiate who is who. So when students select their registration, sometimes they put a wrong check mark and it's the same amount of dollars. And it seems like we missed a couple of students who registered for X-Culture and we thought they were low-income country academics. And then also we have a few people who didn't get the US visa And so now we are trying to see if we can add someone from the wait list to replace them. So it's possible there may be a couple late enrollments. So some teams may have an extra team member added in the next few days.
But it'll all be done by the middle of next week anyway.
Yeah.
It won't change after that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, everyone. And yeah, we'll share the recording with those who couldn't attend in person. Can't wait to see you all in San Antonio.
Yeah. And hopefully speak to you guys on Monday as well.
Yep. Oh, yeah. On Monday on the webinar.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.